Looks like we got quiz 3. No. Subtract, no. Select strategies for subtracting within 1,000. So again, much like selecting strategies for adding within 1,000, a lot of this will be review. Let's do this thing. Select 2 strategies that you could use to subtract 563 minus 192. Well, I can, again, here's another thing about multiple choice tests. Once I know that there are exactly 2 answers, and once I know that there are 3 possibilities, all I have to do is eliminate one answer, and then anything that remains must be the truth. Sherlock Holmes. Ish. So I know that adding 100 plus 90 plus 2 isn't going to do anything. All that does is get me to 192. So the answer is B and C. I'm going to go a little bit less in depth than I did before because A, nobody's asking questions in the chat, and B, I don't want to cover the same ground over and over and over again to the point where it gets too boring. So I'm going to kind of move swiftly on. 690 minus 288. Again, 2 answers. Again, one of them is clearly wrong. 2 plus 400 is 402. I bet it gets you to the right answer, but it's not. Does it get you to the right answer? 690 minus 288 is 4. No, okay. Yeah, it would be. It would be 402. So it would be the right answer, but it would not be the correct process. I got that wrong, and I'm not entirely sure why. Let's take a look. Hold on. So another great learning moment. On Khan Academy, anytime you get a problem wrong or if you don't know what happened, now obviously I could subtract this on a calculator and see that I was wrong, but I want to see why 400 plus 2 is considered a viable strategy. I don't see it, I don't understand it, and when I don't understand an answer, instead of just assuming that I was screwed over by Khan Academy, I want to see what their idea is. So I am getting a hint. Yeah, I know about the number line. That makes sense to me. Let's try strategy 1 at a time and see if we get the same difference. Okay. 692 minus 290. Oh, okay. So to get to 692 minus 290, it just moved it to the right 2 spaces. That's fine, but that's not the one that we're worried about. Okay, fine, that one doesn't work. Add 2 plus 400. Okay, so I disagree with this. And this is rare. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because what this seems to be saying, okay, what this seems to be saying to me is that because we got the same solution, the strategy works. I don't know what this strategy is. I don't understand where they came up with 2 and 400. And if you do, if you did see it, if you can see it, please post in the comments either here on Twitch or on YouTube, because I'm very interested to know what thought process got us from 690 minus 288 to 400 plus 2. Because at the moment, I see that it gets us to the right answer, but I don't see the reasoning behind it. That doesn't mean it's invalid. It just means that I don't understand. So we're going to move on to the next question, and I'm going to remind myself to look back at this and see if I can pick it apart a little bit later and figure out where exactly this 400 plus 2 came from. Let's move on. Select 2 strategies that we can use to subtract 815 minus 677. Again, now I don't want to. Okay, C I can understand. Right? Because I can take away 700. The difference between 700 and 677 is 23. So I subtracted 23 too many, and I add them back up. But now I just feel like I am comparing my answer to these two instead of trying to see a pattern, and I disagree with it. I do not like this particular topic. I know that 815 minus 700 is 115, which is the same as 100 plus 15, so I know that B is correct even though I don't understand where they get it from. $767 minus $753. So B is correct, and I do believe we do end up getting 14, yeah? 17, 14. Okay, 7 plus 7 is also correct. C is incorrect, and I actually like how C is incorrect, so let's talk about that for a second. C says that you take 767 minus 50, and then you add 3. And that seems to make sense, right? It seems like, well, wait a second, 750 plus 3 is 753, right? So why isn't it plus? And again, it's because of the distributive property. If you separate that 3 out, it's still negative, right? It's still being subtracted. The whole thing is being subtracted. If I pull apart a thing that is being subtracted, each piece is being subtracted. So C is very, very close, and I could see where a student went wrong there, and I would only mark off maybe 1 point at most for making that mistake. But A and B are the correct answers. We got 75%. Not the end of the world. We'll make it up in the next quiz. We are going to subtract within 1,000. In this one, since I know that the hundreds, I know that 100 minus 100 is 0. So I essentially know that I can more or less ignore these hundreds right here. So instead, I can do 90 minus 72, which I know pretty close off the top of my head is 18 for a couple of reasons. I know it because I know that I could just carry the 1. I know it because I know that they are both multiples of 9. And I know that there are 2 9s in between 72 and 90. If you're counting by 9s, it goes 72, 81, 90. There are lots of different ways that you could get to this, but my answer, one way or the other, is 18. Uh, 889 minus 250. Well, if I did 890 minus 250, that would be 640, right? But I added 1 too many, so it should actually be 639. 516 minus 304. Well, I know there's no regrouping, no borrowing, none of that's necessary. The answer is 2, 1, 2, right? 500 minus 300 is 200. 10 minus 0 is 10. 6 minus 4 is 2, 212. 309 minus 84. In this case, I would actually probably break it up like this. 9 minus 4 is 5. And 30 minus 8 is 22. I hope that made sense. Instead of doing the carrying the one thing, I just noticed that I could do 300 minus 80 equals 220 and just kind of wrap it up in one step. And that is that. Subtract within 1,000. What do we have next? We have a quiz. Let's do it. Which number line shows 652 minus 640? Well, it's going to start at 652, and then it's going to take away 600, and then it's going to take away 40, and it's going to end up at 12. I hate that I have to check the answers now. Up until this point, I've always been confident that if I was able to work out what the method was, I wouldn't have to necessarily check the answer. That's about 730 minus about 600. I see about 130. Let's see what the answers are. Hey, look, 130. On the nose. Nick isn't sure how to subtract 797 minus 704. Well, they could certainly take 797 minus 700. There aren't any 10s to deal with. And then subtract 4. That's A. Select two strategies we can use to take 937 minus 791. I could take 937 minus 700, but then I would have to take away another 71. So A is definitely wrong, which means B and C are definitely right. Oh, this is a nice, hopefully not too difficult one. 252 minus 32. Well, I know that 52 minus 32 is 20, so the answer is 220. I know I'm going faster, but that's because I spent all of kindergarten streams and first grade streams and second grade streams going very slowly. So I am going to kind of sort of pick up the pace as we continue to move forward.